Hi there.
Hey everyone, how you doing? Hetty timed your lunch break, right? Nice one.
I didn't see you was coming in.
Good to see you, Wendy. Mum's here.
Hey.
Michelle and Masha. Jeff, how you doing? Becca, Susie, nice one.
Good to see you.
Elion in Albania.
Hey.
Good to see you tuning in.
Nice. So talking today as we woke up really late. We were both really dreaming a lot. You were up in the night, weren't you? And especially down here, don't know how it's been for you. Speaking to my mum up in Scotland, she said it was really lovely and calm, isn't it, Mum? Don't know if it is today. But it's been really, really wild here. And so often, I don't know if you can...
I'll give you that.
So often the elements are really reflecting and integrated with what is going on for us as individuals, and for communities and relationships and all this, everything, really every aspect of ourselves is reflected in nature, because of course we are nature. And 2 nights ago it was absolutely thrashing with rain and wind, and this morning waking up and just feeling this calm and just feeling kind of really sleepy from it. I'm just kind of like, oh, we can rest now, it's over. Yeah, Annie, it does feel a better day, doesn't it? Like there's something kind of being, like the pressure's been taken out somehow, and things can start moving again, a bit sort of freer, and without that kind of heightened, like what's happening? And you were talking about the numbers of yesterday.
Yeah, it was the 5th of the 5th. And if you add up 5, 5, 20, 20, if you add up those numbers, you get a 14, which is 1 and 4, which is another 5. So it's the portal of 5 energy. And the numerology of 5 is around freedom and discipline. So, you know, when you have discipline, you have great freedom within that. Because you know that things are worked out. So, I've got time. It's like timing a lunch break. I'll be free at lunch if I have the discipline to, do my work at this time. But also yesterday was around the 5th dimension. So the heart math that we've been talking about recently, we went to see a presentation by one of the founders of heart math, and he was talking about how we're moving from the 3D and 4D world to a 5D world, and this is why time seems to be going so quickly right now. And so yesterday was a sort of a peek into 5D energy. So it was like a big boost, like a big boost of energy. And if you think about it, in terms of electricity going into wires, if the wires are ready and they're nice and strong, then the electricity can flow and it's okay. But if the wires are a bit old and the insulation's a bit cracked, then there's not much
you get
copper
some
there.
sparks.
Yeah, you get some sparks, exactly. So that was yesterday.
Yeah. And it's always good to remember, like I was lying in my nice Epsom salts bath last night, having got through the day, and thinking how when I can remember to actually kind of not exactly bypass, but move through all that like tumultuous stuff that's happening, and actually remember what it's going to be like on the other side of that. When you maybe are a bit stressed about money or something, and it can feel like that's all there is about that subject, and then money comes in, it's like, the relief comes and things can flow again. And it's actually touching into that feeling of the relief already now, because it's coming anyway, and that way we can actually be in an energy that helps us to flow much more fluidly, without getting caught up in the now, but actually being much more present with what we're moving towards and what we're bringing in. So I know that's not always that easy when we're caught up in the kind of, when like yesterday we went for a walk. It was absolutely incredible at high tide here, And just down the road here, the waves come in, the seawall's not very high, and the waves dance like, it was like fireworks, we were saying yesterday. Just an incredible show, just sea being chucked out on the road, seaweed all the way up the road, like kind of a few inches deep water up the road, and just having to like time it to run really quickly so we didn't get absolutely soaked. And it was flying up over the houses, and it was really like, that was the energy that we were experiencing yesterday, and I know some of you were as well. And when you're kind of in that, it's not always the easiest thing to kind of be like, I know this is going to pass, and just to be calm with it. But if you can, it's that thing of, for me, reminding myself to just kind of soften a little bit more into the expansiveness of knowing that this isn't all there is. And actually softening into what's coming, softening into the relief and the release and the growth and the upflow again. Then it makes that stuff a whole lot easier to ride, because it's kind of like you don't take it so seriously as well. It's like, okay, I know this is just passing through, and I know it's not even really my stuff, you know, it's always the churning of the collective. Yeah. So today feels nice and calm. It's just a little breeze, the sun's kind of poking through, and so there's the mantra coming in that I was actually singing to you, Mum, yesterday. You were asking me to remind you about it, and it's a very simple Kundalini mantra that speaks about birth, death, rebirth, and just remembering that cycle is going on all the time, and nothing ever can last forever. You know, it's just this beautiful continuation, and of course nature always reminds us of that with the seasons, and every little cycle that happens. So I'm just going to kind of weave it into the didge, because I know that it's nice to just have a lot of didge sometimes. So but if you want to just bring this intention in of those cycles of life, and the coming, the birth, the growing, and then just dying away, that kind of everything going back to the ground, and then rebirth. And it's Satanama, Satanam, Satanama, Satanam. Yeah, Becca, this too shall pass. Absolutely.
Oh, Becky, guys enjoyed it. And Sarah too.
And I think I saw, Becca, you were asking the word Satanama. Satanam. I'll write it in there for you. Satanama, Satanam.
See, Howard was saying when he first started, he was humming into his heart as he played. So that's so good to hear, Howard.
So good.
Yeah, beautiful thing to do, just humming into your heart. Wow, any time of day.
Yeah.
You can do that, hey? Yeah.
So, wishing you a beautiful day. Whatever is moving through, as always, magic, says Annie. Isn't it great to have the big blue didge? When we're outside, we have the beautiful sounds of the nature, but we have a smaller didge, but this is the the magical one, isn't it? It feels so good.
Yeah. Hey, Jane, good to see you with us. Lovely. Thanks for the love, Howard. Feeling it. Lovely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, perfect after yoga. That's great, Laura. Good to hear.
So I'm just feeling before we go, there's just kind of a something, and it feels like the something is about just remembering to come back to the ground, because when energies and emotions get whipped up, I don't know if you've noticed, I'm sure you have, it kind of feels like it's kind of spiraling out and being scattered. And whatever's going on for you, whether you're actually quite peaceful or joyful or you're struggling, and whatever's going on, just to remember to come back to ground, because the roots are where that strong nourishment is. And with that mantra especially reminding us of that cycle of birth and death and rebirth. You know, the trees come and the leaves fall and they mulch down and they go back into the earth, and just to remember that kind of that's a holding space for us to just come back down and just kind of land and just rest there and take time before speaking and take time before acting, so that it's really from a place that is your nature rather than what you feel is being demanded of you or whatever is going on. So that just feels like it wants to be said today. So we'll pop the words in there. I think someone just did, actually. I'm not sure who did that.
That was Becca, yeah. Jeff, well, pleasure. Annie, you're in the treehouse stone circle.
Oh, nice.
The work goes on. Beautiful.
So Annie's a really important person to us. Annie had this beautiful house in Cornwall, as some of you will know, called the Tree House, and with some help she created this stone circle, and actually that's where Olivier and I met when Olivier was playing a sound bath there.
Yeah.
So we were thinking about that with our group that we have now on Saturday mornings, and thinking where all these people have come from, this amazing constellation that's come together, and like, wow, that person's been in your life for 15 years, and that person's just come in, and that person was there when we got together, and all this like really incredible realization of the connections and anyway, that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be reminded of Treehouse, Annie.
Yeah, thank you, Annie.
Yeah.
Thank you for so much.
Yeah. Falling leaves return to their roots. Thank you, Becca. Chinese proverb. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so we'll see you tomorrow at noon.
Yeah.
And
Yay. Thanks for the love. Okay.
So much love to you.
So much love. Bye-bye.
Bye.